The John and Gordy Family Show, and a very, very good morning to you. It sounds like I'm in a good mood. I'm not. And Gordy, how do you feel this morning?
I feel great, John.
Well, that's fantastic, man.
It's Wednesday, you know?
You know, we love hump day, don't we? We're just getting through the week. Just barely
I can't
making
believe
it.
it's already hump day.
I know.
It's just, this week is just flying by.
It's just fantastic, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
No one's had a better Monday or Tuesday.
I love Wednesdays, though. Wednesday,
yes.
That's my favorite day of the week.
And I know where you're coming from.
You know where I'm coming from, right down University Avenue.
Exactly.
All the way in.
I'm behind you.
You are.
Literally
about 10 minutes
behind
behind me.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, it's beautiful out there this morning. We've got some
little showers. Huh?
Scattered rain showers. Yeah, kind of a little surprise in our weather forecast this morning. A few showers, a few sprinkles. It's 65 degrees. And let's see what our high temperature might be today.
All right, that sounds good.
What do you want to use today?
Well,
it's up to you.
Well, I don't know.
I'm tired of choosing.
It's, me too.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm beat. It's midweek.
Yeah.
I've made these decisions over and over.
Well, let's make Sam make the decision.
I'm beginning to think that
no,
maybe
he doesn't want to.
Well, he doesn't want to do
he's
anything.
He's opting out.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right.
He says we're not on the air. Are we on the air?
It's kind of hitting the fan behind the scenes here today. That debate really screwed us up.
Did it?
Well, maybe. I don't know. Catherine just called in. I was going to take a call, but I didn't get a chance to before she hung up.
Okay. Well, yeah, we know that some of the computers are telling us one thing and some of the computers are telling us something else. I don't know. What do you believe? Who do we believe?
It's all Greek to me. There's just a whole bunch of things scrolling up the screen. There's a blue screen on one. It looks like the Matrix, you know? Yeah.
So we may or may not be
complaining
in
about
control.
Technology. You guys, hop into the 21st century.
We should be. We are on air right now. You guys
good.
are on air.
Are we?
That's good
Yes.
to know.
Okay, well, that's fantastic to know. We could have had a little help from Catherine.
Well, what do you mean? She's not
she
controlling
called,
it.
but she could have texted us to say, hey, you guys are sounding fantastic this morning. At least she could have just at least typed that.
All right. Well, let's get back to the high temperature for today.
Again.
See if some of that technology is working.
Again, we have... I beat this thing to death. Okay, let's have Sam do this one.
Well, okay, Sam, are you able to do it now?
Let's use the roulette wheel, I suppose.
Okay.
All right, that's fantastic.
Good.
I love the sound of it. There's something about that sound that just calms you down.
Especially since it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
The high temperature today is 83 degrees.
Wow, I love that.
I know we're seeing a few sprinkles, a few showers this morning, but that's all going to clear out real quickly, and we'll see a lot of sunshine.
I think we're going to have to enjoy these warm temperatures while they last.
It feels like summertime again, John.
I can't sound this positive ever in my entire life, and I'm not going to keep this up.
I don't think we can. No.
All right.
No way. Let's just, everybody calm down.
After the debate last night.
Yeah, the debate.
I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah, it was really good.
Kamala
they were
really
going
looked
toe-to-toe.
fantastic.
Yeah, she did a fabulous job.
And there was this little debate going on about her expressions, if she just didn't have any expressions, that would be best, because we don't want to see women with expressions on their face.
Huh.
The frumpy Trump.
Yeah.
What was he doing? Did you see him? He hunched over, is just frumpy. His bottom lip was sticking out like a pouting little boy in the playground, not getting his way.
He was trying not to, get triggered, I think.
Oh, and did he get triggered?
Well, he did.
Oh, he did.
He did eventually. But I like that Kamala just came right out, walked right over, and shook his hand.
Yeah.
I don't think that was scripted.
Yeah.
I think that was off script.
Right.
I don't think anybody was expecting that.
She had to walk across the entire platform.
They weren't supposed to shake hands, but she made it a point to go over and introduce herself to him. I'm Kamala Harris.
Hey, I'm Kamala.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm black.
Yeah. So, we'll get more into the weeds on the debate last night.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff coming up a little after 7 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get to the National Day calendar. It is September 11th, so we remember 9/11, of course, on this date. But let's find out what the National Day calendar has to say about things for today. Is it or is it not? Okay, you ready for this?
No, I'm never ready for this.
Is it National Bad Hair Day? Is it National Hot Cross Bun Day? Is it National Make Your Bed Day? Or is it Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance for 9/11? Well, we know that one. That is a day today.
That's right.
Hard to believe. 23 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but back to the National Day calendar. National Make Your Bed Day, National Bad Hair Day, or National Hot Crust Bun Day?
Make your bed day.
Well, you are wrong, sir. It is National Make Your Bed Day. Sam, do you have a guess?
It's not Bad Hair Day.
You're correct.
All
you
right.
get a shiny new dime added to your account. That'll be in your bonus check at the end of the year. Okay? National Hot Cross Bun. Who doesn't like some hot cross buns? What are hot cross buns?
What is a hot cross bun?
Well, first of all, they're hot, and they're buns.
And
I don't know what
cross.
They're crossed.
They're very angry.
They've got a little cross. Well, they actually have a little cross on
do?
the top of them. That's
Oh.
what makes them the hot cross bun. Currants or raisins baked into the bun add a sweet flavor if you want your hot cross buns like that. As noted in the name of this baked good, it's marked with a cross, as I just mentioned. To make the cross, bakers use a doughy paste baked into the bread. Sometimes icing is used to make that cross instead. And hot cross buns are traditionally eaten at the end of Lent in many historically Christian countries. Lent begins the evening before Ash Wednesday, goes through Good Friday, and the cross is the symbol of the crucifixion. All right, so there's everything you need to know about your hot cross buns.
So this is a Christian religious
But
bun.
it is, but it also has a bunch of superstitions attached to it. Like unspoiled, buns baked and served on Good Friday will not spoil or mold during the subsequent year. Okay,
Wow. Okay,
they're not going to mold.
Let's test that baby out.
Yeah. Medicinal uses. A piece of it given to someone ill will help them recover. Huh. Friendship. Sharing a hot cross bun with another ensures friendship throughout the coming year.
All right. My eyes are glazing over at this.
You don't want to hear any more about the hot cross bun?
It's not quite, that important. I haven't.
Well, the Hot
I've never
Cross
seen
Bun
a cross.
Association of America, it's pretty damn important.
Well, I guess you're right. I shouldn't belittle them.
It's too late. Okay. Let's move on to National Make Your Bed Day.
No one makes. Do they make their bed anymore? Does anybody do that?
I think so.
Take time to do that.
I do. I just throw it back
Every
on
once in a while, right?
No, every day. Before I leave for work, yeah. We all need to sleep at some point, John. And getting a good night's sleep.
I've forgotten about that.
Insomniacs don't need it, but everybody else does. Getting a good night's rest gives us an opportunity to recharge. While we can't always get a perfect night's rest, we can make some changes to improve our sleep habits, or you can get a Verlo mattress,
Right.
Do you want to get a better night's sleep? According to the National Sleep Foundation, there's a good group to join. The National Sleep Foundation. Making your bed can improve your sleep by reducing the amount of tossing and turning and restlessness. See, if you make your bed every night, you won't have to toss and turn the next night.
They must have incredibly interesting meetings.
Yes.
Well, I had a good night's sleep. I was tossing and turning, I couldn't get to sleep.
National
Some
Sleep
hot milk.
Foundation. Yeah. Some warm milk. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, that's it for the National Day
just
calendar.
checking to see what my sleep.
Yeah?
I have a app that counts my hours of sleep.
I don't know how that. So you have to sleep with your watch on.
Yes, you
You
have to
find
do
that very uncomfortable,
No.
or you're used to it now?
No, I'm kind of used to it. And it's a soft bed, so it kind of sinks
Doesn't your
in.
wrist get all hot and sweaty underneath your
No,
wrist?
it
Do you
actually
take your watch
it
off
actually
all the
doesn't.
time, Gordy?
Yes.
Every
Do
night,
you
right?
sleep with your watch on?
Yeah, I never take it off.
Seriously?
Wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
Well, then you should definitely get a smart watch.
Oh, God. Not this again,
So
John.
you know.
Not this again.
So you know what's going on. You got to keep track of your health.
Yeah. How was your sleep last night? Are you checking your
about-
patterns?
I
right now?
am, yeah. My REM time was an hour and 44 minutes. I
Oh,
think
that's pretty good, huh? Is that good?
Yeah, that's your dreaming state.
Yeah. Do you remember your dreams?
I don't remember. I never remember.
The watch doesn't
Ann
help you out
does,
with that,
but I
does
do
it?
not.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. The watch records my dreams.
See, that would be cool. That would be kind of a cool thing.
Well, you laugh now, but
I'm
you say,
laughing now.
I'm not going to wear those smartwatches.
I'm not.
If you did and smartwatches progressed, we might be able to record our dreams with a smartwatch. But if you want to hold back time and hold back technology by not wearing them, fine.
Okay.
I get it.
Sam, what happened in the history books? Is there any dust on the history book? Do you ever open it again?
There's just a couple. We just opened it a couple times. It's only Wednesday. We've opened it twice this week already.
Now there's only certain days of the week
just for
where
you.
we open it.
We opened up that.
We went
big
through
book
great
for you.
expense to make that sound effects, and
That's
damn
right.
it, we're going to use it, okay?
Let's take a look. See, a couple things here.
Yeah.
Today in 1914, St. Louis Blues is published. It's a jazz standard, first really kind of popular jazz song before the Roaring '20s when jazz really blew up.
All right.
All right.
Today in 1941, construction began on the Pentagon.
All right.
When?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
1941?
Yeah, I didn't
41.
realize it was quite that old.
Yeah.
I thought it was older than that.
Oh, really?
Okay.
They need to redo that building. I think, it's just
Expand it some more.
Add another layer.
Add a couple of other sides, or maybe a second.
You want a hexagon, right?
Well,
Octagon?
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, why did they choose 5 sides?
Yeah.
I wonder.
That's a good question. We'll have to dig deeper into the history book.
Here's
to find
one
that
for
answer.
you, John, because you hate video games. Today in 1977, the Atari 2600 was released.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
The 2600.
Yeah,
That
my
was
dad
great.
had one when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
the
pretty
most
good. You still have
unent-
that? Does he still have that?
He doesn't still have the one that
Oh.
he had when he was young, but
right.
the most unentertaining video game I have ever played.
Well, they were just starting off,
Yeah.
so you have to give them credit.
That's true.
They had
That's true.
the Atari. They had the Commodore 64. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Okay, is that it for the history books?
That's all we got today.
Okay. Again, 9/11
And
today.
9/11, obviously. I didn't
So
put that on here.
There will be
because,
all the remembrances in New York City and Washington, D.C., and
That's right, there
Shanksville,
will be.
Pennsylvania.
And the debate, everybody will have forgotten it by then.
Well, no. I think this debate is going to go down as one of those barn burners. I mean, it was really something.
Immediately after the debate, the Harris people
Yeah.
put out a bulletin saying that they want a second debate.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, great. Okay.
can't
And
wait
Trump
to see
went into
that.
the spin room. Very dejected, it looked like.
Oh,
But
yeah?
they were trying to put lipstick on a pig on that thing. 'cause-
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Okay. It is 18 minutes past the hour. We're going to have more on all the debate coverage. And guess what? Taylor Swift came out for Kamala Harris.
No.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
More coming up.
Gee, I could have swore. WNBS 92.7. The John and Gordy Family Show.
Something's happening with our computers this morning. We're still sorting it out. So if you're hearing silence, that's what that is.
Sometimes we just need
A
a
minute-
little. Sometimes we just need a little break.
A little break.
A
so-
minute of silence. So
so
we
our
might,
meditation minute.
when are we expecting that little moment?
Well, it happened already.
Did it
You
happen?
missed it. You missed the relaxation period, John.
Well, we apologize to everybody for not forewarning.
It's just it's our new thing.
Maybe no one noticed.
Well, it's
It was a pregnant pause that
that's what it was.
we let get out of control.
Yeah. Hey, I mentioned this is trending last night. after the debate.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, she's
Yeah,
all in for Kamala
she is.
Harris. She
Yeah.
finally got off the fence. Nobody
I
knew
know.
what she
No
was
one
going to
knew what she was going to do.
But now we know.
Yep.
She's voting for Kamala Harris.
That is fantastic to hear, though.
Yeah, so all the Swifties out there, you
Yep.
know what to do. Get registered and be sure to vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get the swag.
Yeah, a little bit later on, Mike McCabe will join us,
Yes,
as he
he-
does every Wednesday.
He's got the follow-up to our discussion last week about the internet and regulating it.
Right?
We were talking about
Yeah.
the idea that if it gets regulated, at least there'll be some guardrails in regards to what we can or cannot do with the internet. Now, they should have done that initially because just
Right.
like they did with electricity, the highways, they just put laws in place in order to govern what we're doing.
Nobody
And
ever really
no one
thought
ever
the
did that with
internet
the
was
internet.
going to be that big of a deal
That's
in the beginning.
probably what they thought. Yeah.
They were wrong about that.
And it just caught on, and they never put up guardrails. Europe is. Other countries are doing it,
Yeah.
but this country is not doing it because I think a lot of people in Congress do believe that it's a series of tubes. It's just it's not a dump truck where you just dump information into it and they haul it away.
That would be kind of cool. if
You know
that
what
was
I'd
it
love
was.
to have? I'd love to have the entire quote of the internet tube.
Oh,
guy.
I'll take a
Could
look
you-
for it.
The whole thing where he says it's not a dump truck. That part.
Yeah, he never actually said the internet is a series of tubes as like his whole quote. That's a
Yeah.
spliced together quote that I made.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Well,
who
you-
was this? Do
It
you
was
remember?
a Congress member
Yes, it was a
in
Congress
like
member.
2005 or something.
Okay. Oh,
But
way
if you
back.
could find that whole quote, that'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and they still think that way.
A lot
That's
of
why I want to
yeah,
hear that
A lot
quote.
of them do. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know what's really going on the internet.
Right. Yep. Hey. Hey now.
Hey now.
Tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
we hope to be talking to Dom Salvia.
Yeah.
And we're still making connections with Dom. He's had a very busy week.
He's
of course.
very busy. He's got a special guest every 15 minutes on that program. I listened yesterday.
Yeah, I did too.
Very interesting. He had a
Going well.
busted penciled guy.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of
we
people.
want to get them in too. But he's on from 4 to 6 across the Civic Media Radio Network. Dom Salvia.
Yeah,
Going well. We wish him the best, and we hope to talk to him tomorrow.
yeah, and maybe now we had a little bit of break. I think last night.
Yeah.
Schwab was off for part of his program anyway.
Because we had special coverage.
Yeah, we had
of
a
the debate.
pre-coverage of the debate last night.
Yeah.
Now, wait, what did you think of that debate?
I thought it
This
was
is that
really
trending thing we're talking about right now. This is a
Absolutely.
trending segment.
good. Yes.
But I thought it was an excellent debate.
Yeah. And I thought, both of them were totally in the moment. They were just going
Yeah.
back and forth. And I thought it was really well done,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
And the hosts were excellent. They were very matter of fact.
Yeah.
The questions were very short and simple to understand.
Right.
They asked them over again
Mm-hmm.
in case there was a problem getting to the answer.
Right.
And they even had a few fact checks along the way,
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, my mega friend in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
oh,
Speaking of fact checks, yeah.
Daniel Dale. So what he wrote me was, hey, they're starting a fact check. He was outraged. He didn't want to see fact checking because they weren't promising fact checking.
But they had it on their app or the
Yeah.
ABC.com.
They had it on, well, they did
or-
it that way. They did it, yeah, they did a sidebar on
They
that.
did a side
But
thing,
not
yeah.
on the screen, not on your TV.
Right.
So what the problem was, he didn't like getting fact checked for Trump. He hated that. I didn't think they were going to do that. They weren't supposed to do that. Just ask the question and let Trump say what he wants and Kamala to say what she wants. But he didn't like fact checking.
Well, CNN also was doing fact checking.
33 false claims.
That's what CNN counted. 33 false claims.
Seems unbelievable,
Made by
doesn't it?
Trump.
Unless it was the same claims repeated over and over, because he's got more than 33 false claims.
Well, it was only 90 minutes long.
Yeah, that's true.
So you could only do it every 3 minutes. Yeah. So that's the debate is in the books, but and then as you mentioned, Kamala Harris's team immediately requested a second
Yes,
debate.
they want a second debate now
No,
because this one went pretty well.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything from the Trump campaign whether they want to do another debate or not. I doubt it. Not after last
Well,
night.
it was interesting. They broke their own rules. They turned the mics on at certain times.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was actually well played.
It was okay.
Well produced.
Yeah. Yeah.
They knew when to turn the mics on and when not to. But I have one complaint, and I'd like to see a breakdown of that.
What's that?
They allowed Trump to answer some of the responses from Kamala more often than Kamala was able to request, a response
Right.
to something that Trump said. I think they gave Trump more time.
Do you think so?
I think so. Yeah. I remember one time where she was, pleading with the host. I
Right.
just want to respond. I just want.
Right.
And they ran right over her and asked a question of Trump, and that was it. But that didn't happen with Trump.
No.
Oh no, he wouldn't go on until they had him open mic'd and able to respond. I didn't like that. That was irritating. Because we knew that he wasn't going to say anything intelligent. He wasn't really going to respond to anything. He was just going to whine and complain with the same whine and complaining that he's always had.
I like the fact that they don't have an audience.
Yeah.
It's just the commentators.
That's so much better.
Without all the audience cheering or booing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyway, weather today. I know you're wondering what's going on. What's happening with it?
Yes.
It was supposed to be nice today, but now we've got clouds. We've got some rain coming through unexpectedly.
Well,
That was not in the
I could
forecast
check my watch.
originally. A few sprinkles here and there. Sam's looking around. Where's my umbrella?
65 degrees.
Grab that umbrella
High today of 84 and
Yeah. It's going to be sunny
low
later.
tonight around 57.
Okay. You want to do the extended forecast? Do we have Brittany Merlot a little later on today? Do we know?
I haven't heard from her yet.
Okay. She's been out for a couple of days.
Yeah,
But,
we're wishing her well. She hasn't been feeling great.
Yeah.
Well, she's already had COVID.
Well, people can
Keeping
get sick.
track.
People can get sick with other things, John.
Well, that's what I'm suggesting.
Maybe she's
She
got
already had
bird flu.
COVID, so
She's down in Venezuela.
That's right. Yeah, the bird flu.
All right. We'll check in with her a little bit later
Interesting on the bird flu, they've
Yeah.
found the first case where somebody didn't come in contact with an animal.
on. Right.
They just got it.
That's a little scary,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to also have Mike McCabe in our next hour.
We'll be talking about the internet and regulating that.
Yep. All that's coming up. And Idiocracy on the John and Gordy Show next.
From the Civic Media Mothership, it's the John and Gordy Show.
Here we are.
Yes, WMDX.
Yeah.
We just go down the street and have breakfast.
I am kind of hungry. We could do that.
Yeah.
92.7 WMDX in Madison, the capital city. We're looking over State Street this morning. A lot of activity, a buzz of activity. The street sweepers
out there.
is making the turn now,
Guy with
going
the
back
leaf
up toward the
blowers out
Capitol.
there as well. All
Yeah.
the leaves, autumn leaves.
He's looking for them.
It's not.
They're not there.
They're not there yet. But
We don't know why he comes
I think he's
out.
practicing. This is one of those situations where you want to keep the guy,
On the top of his game.
top of his. Yeah.
You tend to lose those
exactly
skills
it,
if
yeah.
you're not using them. So he went around the corner.
I
and
have to
he's-
say though, I was a big fan of the backpack leaf blowers until
Right.
I realized that it was right next to my ears.
They make
It
a lot
was
of
loud.
noise, don't they?
It was very loud, and now they have the battery operated leaf blowers, which are much lighter, easier to use,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if they have a backpack battery operated leaf blower,
Right.
but that might be the next step.
Might be. It's going to be a nice one today. Sunshine and a high near 83. Right now it's 65 degrees. Okay.
I hope we're on the air. We have, at this point, something that we normally, traditionally put on at this time, and it's something called Idiocracy.
That's what it is.
It is. It's that.
Mm-hmm. It's all of that.
And
As the
more.
21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Well, sometimes. Sometimes. All right. Well, just a little note here, a little aside, okay? Will Trump be facing any kind of blowback from the megas out there for commuting a murderer? I mean, get this. A drug kingpin convicted of murdering a police officer, Jamie Davidson, whose life sentence was commuted by Trump on the last day he was in office, was charged with strangling his wife and convicted of domestic violence in Florida earlier this year. Now, that seems like a pretty egregious commuted sentence right there.
Yeah.
We've heard about, people getting off under the Biden administration, or at least, in the justice system, some stayed someplace, but they always blame Biden and Kamala on this. So,
So Trump commuted the
Trump,
sentence?
Yeah, will
pardon
Trump
him?
face any blowback from the MAGAs who just hate this kind of stuff,
Right.
this soft on crime stuff? This is a story no one's talking about. I think it's really important.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they make a big deal out of it every
Yes.
time, there's a prisoner exchange or something like that.
Well, they always they go back to Kamala's record in
Sure.
California.
Right.
Well, she let these people off. She was soft on crime here. Mm-hmm. We've got Trump, who commuted the sentence of a kingpin, a drug kingpin, convicted of murdering a police officer. I mean, you can't this is like the ultimate, right?
Big. Yeah.
And nothing. The news
Crickets.
hasn't covered this at all, and the megas certainly aren't upset about it.
No.
Although they should be.
Absolutely.
All right, I just wanted to bring that up, just
Okay.
mention it quickly here.
All right.
And then, of course, Tommy Thompson. We mentioned this with Paul Fanlon the other day from the Cap Times, but we're all kind of surprised that Tommy Thompson, he ran for office again, and that didn't work out so well because he tried his hand at being a mega.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know Tommy Thompson as a mega type individual. He's a get along with everybody type of person, come to an agreement with
Yeah.
one side and the other.
Elroy boy.
And all of a sudden, he's out there, pure MAGA.
Yeah.
And he's continuing that, even though we liked what he did as a fill-in for the president at the UW.
UW, sure.
He
yeah.
defended the UW from the Republicans in the state legislature, which I thought was just unbelievable.
Right.
But he held the line, and he won.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that the current executives there would think, oh, well, he did it. We could do it too.
Right.
Maybe not.
No.
All right. Well, anyway, long-time, Wisconsin Governor Thompson takes the stage. And now he is pushing Agenda 47, Trump's big, plan for his presidency.
He's in Trump's
And,
corner.
yeah, he was in Milwaukee talking about this on stage. And Thompson is urging Republicans to go to the college campuses. Come on, Tommy, you were defending the college campuses. Now you want to have a contingent of young Republicans going out there trying to brainwash kids. It's that brainwashing thing again. Go out to the black churches. Good luck with that. And places like Madison. Go to Madison. You got to do that, he said. And that's just ridiculous. What is wrong? What happened? What happened to this guy? All right.
Hard to fathom.
Well, a little complaining right there, but I got to say that when it comes to Tim Walz, he knows what's happening. He knows what's going on. And right here at Civic Media, Chad Holmes, his show,
right?
He interviewed Tim Walz, and he got the scoop on the Culver's ice cream thing. And I just love this cut.
Wait, the scoop on the Culver's ice cream thing?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty clever, huh?
Nice. I see what you did
I didn't
there.
want to make a big deal about how clever that was.
Too late.
But yeah. Anyway, Tim was talking to Chad Holmes about that, and here's that conversation. In case you missed it, we played it a few times, but here it is again.
What is your Culver's order when you come either to Wisconsin or over in Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm a mushroom and Swiss guy. Onion rings most of the time, and then I just do just a plain custard cup to leave with. So I. When I eat in-house, I do drink a lot of refills. I will say that. They probably lose money on that deal. But, that mushroom and Swiss burger at Culver's, man, that thing's to die for. So I'll give you that. Wisconsin's got that going hard for it.
Okay. Mushroom and Swiss. Making me hungry.
I'm going to have to try that.
Oh, it's really
I
good.
have not tried that one. I just get the double cheeseburger with nothing on it. But, I'm definitely going to do that one.
I usually still get a kid's meal because you get the free custard with it.
You get the kids' meal?
I do, yeah. It's enough to fill me up usually, and you get Scoopy tokens, so you can trade them in for either toys. Yeah,
Scoopy tokens.
Yeah,
you
get the free ice cream coupon with it, and you get a Scoopy token that you can either save enough for a free meal, or you can get a basketball or a frisbee or something like that.
Well, you look really young, but I don't know if you're young enough looking to get a kid's meal.
Well,
don't you have to drag a kid along with you?
I am somebody's kid. If I go to Culver's with
he's thought about it.
Yeah, exactly. If I go to Culver's with my parents, doesn't that count? Even though I'm in my 20s?
Well, you could act like you're a parent. You're buying a meal for your kid.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. I could.
I mean, I thought that's what you were leaning toward, but you actually
I
are
don't have
passing
kids,
yourself
John.
as a kid. Well, it doesn't matter. They're not going to ask you. Yeah, do they? Do the people at the counter ask you if you have kids?
I don't think there's any rule saying that an adult can't get a kid's meal if they want to.
But if you go into a regular
sometimes.
sit-down restaurant,
they question you.
They
They
won't let you have a kid's meal.
We went through that.
But
already.
Culver's is different.
Yeah.
Culver's is different. This is, what this is just
food.
like, John. This is just like when you say that you wanted to take your kids to the Children's Museum again.
Yeah. Now that they're adults. Yeah. But I didn't know about that, and you get all those big benefits just with a kid's meal, right?
Yeah, and it's cheaper than getting a regular cheeseburger meal there.
Okay.
Did not know that. Now everybody can order from the kids menu.
Exactly.
The Scoopy tokens?
Scoopy tokens. Scoopy is their ice cream mascot.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I didn't even know they had a mascot.
did not know that.
It's not
Is it
well
a dancing-
publicized,
Yeah,
but
apparently not. All right, well, anyway, let's get back to Idiocracy.
Okay.
Got
We've got our own idiocracy going on
Well,
here.
J.D. Vance has said a lot of bad things about women. One commentator
can't
brought up
stop.
the fact that he had in hillbilly allergy. He demonstrated that he had a very troubled childhood,
Right.
and a very bad experience with his parents. Very bad experience, and there's surmising that perhaps he is taking that out now in what he would like to see in policy. So he really does not like women very much. This is not a favorite area for him to talk about. So let's listen to cut 44. J.D. Vance again thinking that women are valueless.
What elite culture does, what these elite institutions do, is they take some very smart people in our society, they filter them into a very small place, and they basically tell them to want the same things: clerkships, law firm jobs, consulting gigs, nice cushy jobs at private equity firms. And they tell them that the only way they're going to be happy is to get those things. And so those people end up focusing on career and on credential at the expense of the things that actually make people happy. And so you have people at Yale Law School, you have women who think that truly the liberationist path is to spend 90 hours a week working in a cubicle at McKinsey instead of starting a family and having children. To me, what it is sort of a value system to replace the fact that they're all fundamentally atheist or agnostic. They have no real value system. Their only value system is achieve in a very conventional way. And so the idea that somehow they're pursuing racial or gender equity is like the value system that gives their life meaning. Clearly, this value set has made me a miserable person who can't have kids because I already, passed the biological period when it was possible. And I live in a 1,200 square foot apartment in New York and I pay $5,000 a month for it. But I'm really better than these other people. What I'm going to do is project my racial and gender sensitivities on the rest of them. And the reason that our society is broken is because these people don't think the exact way that I think. Even though the way that I think has made me a miserable person, I just need to make more people think like that.
Is that
If you
projection?
took gender out of it and you said, look,
Here.
elite culture just tells people that the most important thing is getting these grabbing the brass ring and working all the time, I would be like, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And that's not great. And there's more to life than that. But it's always women. It's always women. It's women.
Let's remember, he is married. He's talking about getting these clerkships, becoming a corporate lawyer. I mean, that was his wife.
He's talking about his wife.
Right. Literally until this summer when she quit her job after he became the vice presidential nominee. I didn't read Hillbilly Elegy when it came out. And so I didn't read it through the filter of the discourse at the time.
Yes.
I read it when he reemerged as a presidential or vice presidential prospect. And that is a book that just seethes with anger, right? And J.D. Vance is someone who was very ill-treated by both of his parents. Both of them let him down phenomenally. But the amount of anger that he has at his mother for sort of not fulfilling her maternal role compared to the amount of anger that he has at his father who put him up for adoption, it's a completely different scale. And so, he has this trauma that I think he then projects onto everything around him. He has this volcanic anger.
That's a really good point.
It is an excellent point.
Yes. He's got a lot of anger toward women.
Yeah.
Underneath it all. Yeah.
And
it's actually all coming out.
It's so unusual for anybody to suppose that they know what other people are thinking, or the reasons why they want to be a professional,
Right.
or the reasons why they want to dedicate their careers to something that helps other people, or at least helps them create a family, buy a house, live the life, the American dream. And he thinks he knows that is an empty kind of life if women do it.
Yeah.
Again, it really is. Like Chris Hayes, he's so focused on women, it's ridiculous.
It is.
How many guys are like that? A lot.
We got a text here from someone. It says, as Rachel Maddow pointed out last night, J.D. Vance's mentor, Peter Thiel, a German who doesn't believe in democracy and generally hates women, no wonder he behaves this way. Some other texts. You can text us at 608-879-8255 or just get on the Civic Media app.
We've had a few blips here with silence, so please bear with us.
Yes, we'll be back with more.
WIBX 92.7 FM, the John and Gordy Family Show again. We've had a few glitches having the coverage last night. Set the computers off on a different quest.
A small price to pay.
Small price to
for the success of the debate last night.
Yeah, that's right.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it here.
Weather today, some clouds this morning, sunshine later, high near 83.
All right. Well, it is time once again to check into what's happening in healthcare news.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, help me, please, doctor. I'm damaged. Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. Doctor, doctor, can't you see I'm burning, burning? Science!
Yes, indeed. It is healthcare news, and I just want to mention Dom's program yesterday had somebody on who has a comic strip, and they're talking about universal healthcare or the New Deal that includes universal healthcare as FDR wanted to put in place way back when.
The New Deal?
Yes.
How many new deals can there be?
Well, just a new one because, the other New Deal was an extension that he wanted to create universal health care for everybody in the country. Didn't happen, obviously. So we're still working on it. We still want to make that happen in this country. It'll save people a lot of money, and it will save a lot of people's lives as well, so they can get the care that they need and prevent all these premature deaths, as they call them. But it was a great segment on that show, and we'll have to talk to that individual professor, I believe, at the university in Green Bay.
Yeah.
So we'll try to get him on as well, because it's great to hear Dom talking about universal health care. Maybe, we can start talking about it and make it an actual issue. Came up in the debates last night.
Right.
Although I wish Kamala would, kind of said, yeah, it'd be great to have universal health care. I wish you would have said that. But she was focused on the question of, do you want to do away with private health care? And Democrats, they still can't figure out what to say when asked that question. and I'm sad for them.
Well, the Affordable Care Act has been has been in place since 2014.
They talked about, that being threatened by Trump himself.
Yeah.
Over 60 times he tried to repeal it, and they didn't have anything to replace it.
Right.
So anyway, the ACA has been very, very successful. In fact, it's picking up steam. More people are signing up for the ACA, and the estimate is that they have over 50 million people signed up.
Right.
For the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare.
Yeah, that's amazing. Since 2014,
it is.
That's a good number.
One of the bad things that could happen is that I believe at the end of 2025, there's an extension on benefits, on supplemental payments that the government makes to help you afford your monthly premiums. And they've extended that. They have made that a larger amount of money because of COVID. And they've extended it so everybody can afford health care. If that goes away, if that is just let to sunset,
allowed to expire,
we're going to be paying $200, $300, $400 a month in premiums, and that is, they'll say that that's a good deal. It's not a good deal. It's the worst thing possible. So we have to extend that. And if Trump gets in, I don't know if that'll be extended. They might want to kind of piggyback that with repealing large parts of the ACA. So there could be some problems.
It was quite the debate last night. If you'd like to chime in on that, you can give us a call, 608-879-8255. You can call us or text us at that number. Kamala
That's our
Harris.
big story next week, next hour, by the way.
Yes, that's right. We're going to talk about the debate here in just a few minutes. We'll get into it. But I thought it was really interesting when Kamala Harris started talking about his crowd sizes. That really got under his skin.
That was it.
He
That was
really
the
went
trigger.
off. Yeah. On the crowd size, because she was saying, you should go to one of his rallies.
I've got
see
that
what it's
cut.
like. Okay,
I've got that.
We'll have that coming up.
That was right.
It
That
was good.
Wonderful. You could see him seething.
Really sensitive about that.
Nothing more fun than watching that happen.
Right.
All right, I want to get into this left-right thing. References to left-leaning, radical, far-left agendas when we talk about healthcare is driving me crazy. It's just bad marketing, and it's promoted by Trump and the MAGAs. Giving life-saving care to people who can't afford it is called radical. Walls has a record of supporting left-leaning healthcare initiatives. See, left-leaning, right?
Left-leaning.
Well, that's supposed to, I guess, make it sound bad. Republicans have seized on that to portray the Harris-Walls ticket as extreme on healthcare because they want to help people get healthcare. Oh my God! And Walls and Harris have both mentioned that they've lowered drug prices. They've managed to maintain at least some stability in the states that still allow abortions for people to go into those states and help them with their health care. Andy Slavitt, a former administrator at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, said Trump is not an ideologue. He's Walls, rather. I'm sorry. He's not an ideologue. He's an independent thinker who cares about people who don't have resources.
Right.
Now, that's radical. That's left. Walls has been articulate and passionate about his experience with IVF, fertility treatments, and that connects with people on both sides of the aisle. And Republicans don't like that. Well, MAGAs, there's no such thing as a Republican anymore. And here comes the dumb stuff. Republicans in Minnesota say Walls' healthcare positions will work against the Democratic ticket. Why? His support of legislation codifying abortion rights, his backing of recreational marijuana, and a bill he signed to expand public health coverage to some immigrants lacking legal residency is bad and radical. So under Governor Walls, they say, we saw one of the most radical far-left agendas in the country. Walls has a record of implementing extreme policies, helping people get health care, that only divide us further. Really? It's divided us. And get this. He has put our state on a path to government-run health care. Oh, no, not that.
Wow, who wants that?
We don't want to see a government-run health care at all. Trump's campaign of juvenile delinquents has labeled Walls Tampon Tim because of his state law he signed requiring menstrual products to be available to all menstruating students in restrooms.
Okay.
Which means, tampons will be in women's restrooms.
Okay.
Not men's, which, by the way, the MAGAs tried to say that's what they were trying to do.
Okay. This goes on. It's 6:58. Coming up, Terry Bell will have the story of the day. Also, a little bit later on, Mike McCabe will be joining us on the John and Gordy Show for Wednesday morning, right here on 92.7 WMDX.
sunshine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
Do you know what this means?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
You're pretty high and far out, aren't you? What kind of kick are you on, son?
No good bastard. Your show sucks.
What made me think this was a good day to stop drinking?
Buddy, you want coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Black coffee.
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 They warned us about people like you!
What a load of crap.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? We'll do it live.
And that's the way it is.
Only on Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX.
All right.
Take it away, boys.
John and Gordy's family show a little bit later on.
Yeah.
We'll have our guest, Mike McCabe, in the studio from Substack. We'll be picking up where we left off last week, talking about what would happen if we started to regulate the internet just a little bit. He's got a few thoughts on that. We'll cover that as well. And in just a few moments, we'll have a few choice clips from the debate last night. And I think that's the big story, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we'll get to that in just a moment. Weather-wise today, mid-60s this morning, low 80s this afternoon. We'll see a lot of sunshine right now. It's cloudy and 65. And Terry Bell is with us here this morning. Good morning,
Hey,
Terry.
guys. How are you?
Spent a lot of time last night covering this.
Yeah. It was a long night, but, that's what it was. So,
Part of the deal, yeah.
Yeah, people will be talking about it all day today for sure. I think the main takeaway is that Kamala Harris was pretty successful at getting Donald Trump to take the bait and lose his composure at times. And I think that would probably cost him with, people who are watching who are undecided, not necessarily partisans, as people who, as they say, vote the person and not the party, which I think you'd have to be down to if there are any votes out there left to get. And then a few minutes after that, in celebrity news, Taylor Swift, probably the biggest celebrity on the planet right now, endorsed Kamala Harris. So we'll see what effect that has. I'm not surprised that after this debate, women in particular have made up their minds largely. So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, that didn't go real well when he talked about
a lot
abortion.
of strange things. He said he made a comment about I'm not even sure if I want to repeat it, but made a glancing suggestion about how she got ahead in her career, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, I missed that part. I didn't see that.
Wow.
Didn't see the whole thing. I saw most of it up until the last half hour or so. Then it was.
And of course,
to drift away.
He repeated the eating pets thing, so we'll be getting to that cuts in just a few moments.
Repeated that and a lot of things, of course, the 2020 election and a lot of things that have been, jaw-dropping, but also proven false, or no evidence has been produced after all these years for a lot of these claims are being made. Right now, this whole pet eating business seems to be an urban legend that has gotten some traction.
Exactly, and that's what happens on the right.
And Kamala brought up the crowd size at his rallies, and that touched a nerve.
Yes, and she was good at pressing those buttons.
Yes.
And he did, as they say, take the bait.
You mentioned
we're going
this,
to get into this.
Gordy.
Yeah.
She laid the traps. He took the bait.
That's
and it was so simple, so easy to do.
All right, Terry. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll be getting into those cuts right now. As a matter of fact,
Terry Bell, our news director here at Civic Media.
One of the interesting things, and the right always looks at women for their expressions.
Right.
They always think, well, a woman's going to overreact. What's her expression here? Is she smiling? Is she? It's just an amazing thing that guys can do anything they want. For some reason, women have to look or appear a certain way.
Yeah,
and
they're emotional.
Marcos Melitos, he's been at this a long time. Crooks and Liars, he started that. He tweeted, "White male misogynist has thoughts." And that was in regards to a retweet he made of Frank Luntz, who is the pollster, right?
Yeah.
And Frank Luntz actually came out and said this, if you can believe this: if she wants to win, Harris needs to train her face not to respond.
What?
It feeds into a female stereotype with, by the way, Frank, you're bringing up here, and more importantly, risks offending undecided voters. I don't think so. My God, Frank, enter the 21st century, if you will. All right, let's get to the first cut here, and this is crazy stuff. Lindsay Davis, one of the news people conducting this debate, fact checks Trump his awful lies about abortion. Now, my mega friend in Milwaukee texted me and he said, "Wait, they're fact checking."
Yeah, they weren't supposed to do that.
What?
Come on.
Wait,
The rules.
He was upset they were fact checking. My head exploded just from that alone. Okay, let's get to this about killing babies. All right?
Doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact.
Okay.
Okay.
Boom,
yeah.
bottom line. And Harris addresses Trump directly while making the same case against abortion bans. Now, let's listen to this. It's cut 70.
Here we go.
To agree, the government and Donald Trump certainly should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban.
Now, you got to remember that Trump has been portraying this this overturning of Roe v. Wade a popular item. Everybody, Democrats, Republicans, everyone in the world wanted us to overturn Roe v. Wade,
For
which is
50 years.
absolutely not true.
Right.
But that is a huge lie that he likes to repeat over and over and over. So anyway, on this very subject, Trump throws J.D. Vance under the bus while dodging the question about if he would veto a nationwide abortion ban. Now, this is crazy because he was asked, he was actually given a safety net in this. Lindsay, who is the news person who asked him the question, Lindsay gives Trump a chance to prove he won't veto the national ban.
Right.
But he blows it completely.
He did, yes.
So let's listen to this. This is Trump throwing JD under the bus.
But if I could just get a yes or no, because your running mate, J.D. Vance, has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with J.D. In all fairness, J.D. And I don't mind if he has a certain view, but I think he was speaking for me, but I really didn't. Look,
Take.
She was trying to help you
Yes.
there, but Lindsay Davis.
Wow.
Yeah.
That did not work out.
No.
All right.
Okay.
So Harris invites people to attend Trump rallies.
Yes. Yeah, let's hear this.
All right. Let's check this out first.
Okay.
Instead of fixing a problem. And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Okay.
So that was the trigger, you know.
Right.
Small crowd sizes.
Yeah.
He's a big guy in size. So let's check his reaction to all of that.
Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics.
Let's talk about the border. I mean, the question is the border.
Right.
And this is the most important thing that they've been talking about for the last year and a half.
Yes.
Of the border.
He
And
skipped right by that.
Yeah, I think the crowd sizes affected him in some way, shape, or form, right?
Boy.
A little inadequate there.
He's been on that ever since he got inaugurated, and they showed the crowd size in that one picture. Since then.
And this was the crowning achievement here. Trump brings up the debunked stories about immigrants eating pets in Ohio, and just the expression on Kamala's face was.
Well,
do you want to get to the whole thing? Because if you do, we're gonna have to wait.
Okay,
it's a little long.
Okay, we're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, we'll
let's
hang
go
on that.
Let's go to the phone. We got Dick on the line.
We've
got
do.
time for that.
Dick, good morning. What do you got for us?
Well, I watched the whole thing and turned it off immediately because I don't need people telling me what I saw afterwards for a half hour plus. But what I did see, here's the sports analogy would be, I watched Muhammad Ali in his prime in the ring with the most wore-out old canvasback club fighter you could find in the gym.
Yeah.
He was pathetic.
It was something else.
Totally pathetic.
Yeah, it was. And he wouldn't, as you know, he didn't look at Kamala at all. He just stared straight ahead with his bottom lip out, angry, just fuming.
And to what you guys said about whoever that was, that facial expressions, did you see his?
Yeah.
When he started in about the crowds?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I watched that. That was an amazing transformation.
Constantly closing his eyes.
Yeah.
I heard something this morning, too. You should turn down the volume totally. Just watch a split screen of the two.
Yeah. Right. Well, that'd be kind of
And it'll tell
surreal.
you everything.
Yeah. All right, Dick. Thank you.
Very good.
Well, we'll get to a few more cuts here. At least the crowning achievement, and that is eating pets. We'll get to that and a fact check from CNN.
All right. It is 7:18. Back with more of the John and Gordy Show for Wednesday on 92.7 WMDX.
Dig this crazy pad. Man, it's a mad pad.
WMDX 92.7, the John and Gordy Family Show.
Let me just mention that this portion of the John and Gordy Show is sponsored by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted, locally made mattress. You can find them on Madison's east or west sides, or just go online, verlo.com.
All right.
65 degrees right now, highs in the low 80s today. We're seeing a lot of clouds this morning, a couple of sprinkles, but we'll see sunshine through much of the rest of the day.
All right, let's check into the final comment that I was able to record before
From the
I went to
debate
bed.
last night?
Yeah. And this is Trump bringing up the debunk story about immigrants eating pets because he saw it on TV. Let's get to this cut.
Okay.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Kamala's
And
face
this is what's
great here.
happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
There you go.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well,
All
I've
this-
seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on
this is a
television say
clear-
my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good
Yeah.
thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice
We'll
President
find
Harris,
out.
I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme. This is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election, I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formerly worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney. And if you want to really know the inside track on who the former president is, if he didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him.
Yeah. We got a text here. If Trump sees it on TV, it must be true. it's so mega, isn't it?
It is.
That's really
the
wild.
TV reports.
Yeah, sir. I checked with the chef, and they said it was 100% vegan. That was another person's. But the people on television said my dog.
Yeah.
What is it? My dog was taken and used for food.
Poor Fido's gone missing. Oh no.
Oh man.
It
got pretty crazy right there.
I think that just revealed who the hell he is, you know.
Yeah.
And if somebody says something to him, he believes it's true. He'll repeat it. He doesn't fact check anything it does. He's not curious. He's not a curious individual. Doesn't look anything up. Not into policy. That's why Project 2025 is so important. It's easy policy for him. It's there. He can adopt it without even thinking about it. Somebody will just suggest it. Let's do this. He'll sign it into law. That's how the process is for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to look into it. No curiosity, no development of any kind of proposal whatsoever. No ideas.
Yeah,
that
he
he's
tried
proposing for
He
this.
tried to deny Project 2025 again last night.
And said he doesn't agree with a lot of the things in
Right.
it.
Some of
Although
them,
he's
yeah.
unfamiliar with it.
Right.
He hasn't.
Not agree.
I haven't seen it, but I don't like some of the things in it.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to Daniel Dale from CNN. He does the fact checking over there. This guy's incredible. Let's see what he came up with.
Daniel, what stood out to you?
Jake, what stood out was that this was a staggeringly dishonest debate performance from former President Trump. Just lie after lie on subject after subject. By my preliminary count, Jake, Trump made at least 33 false claims. 33. By contrast, by, again, a preliminary count, Vice President Harris made at least one false claim, though she added at least a few misleading claims and a few more that lack key context. I think a lot of Americans say, well, all politicians lie. No major presidential candidate before Donald Trump has ever lied with this kind of frequency. A remarkably large chunk of what he said tonight was just not true. And this wasn't like little exaggeration, political spin. A lot of his false claims were untethered to reality. On abortion, saying every Democrat wanted Roe v. Wade overturned, though actually more than 80% of Democrats supported Roe. On crime, saying it's through the roof, though it's actually sharply down since early 2023. It's now lower than it was since Trump left office. On healthcare, saying saying he's the one who saved Obamacare, the law he actually repeatedly tried to overturn. On Kamala Harris herself, saying that a Howard University grad, Black Law Students Association president, had claimed that she wasn't black at one point. Frankly, I don't have enough time here to run through each specific Trump false claim. I urge people to go to our CNN website or our app to read our team's detailed fact checks on this and a whole bunch more. For now, though, let's dive into one false claim Trump made, an egregious claim about migrants supposedly eating people's pets.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating.
Help us all.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
This is not only false, I think it's fair to call this odious. This, for people who have not been online in the last couple of days, this claim about migrants, Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, eating people's pets originated with a Facebook post that attributed the claim to a neighbor's friend's daughter. So, a third-hand broken telephone kind of thing. The city of Springfield and the Springfield police say there are no credible reports of this happening. And even J.D. Vance, the vice presidential candidate who himself had promoted these claims, acknowledged this morning that the, quote, rumors might turn out false, although he still encouraged people to spread these cat memes. Now, I'll note that Trump himself added dogs to the equation. They had not even been part of these viral nonsense rumors before. Now, let's look at one false claim that Vice President Harris did make about the economic situation that the Biden-Harris administration was left by Trump.
Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
So the Biden-Harris administration was not actually left the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. They were left a 6.4% unemployment rate in January 2021. That was certainly elevated by recent standards, pretty high, but it was significantly down from the 14.8% level it reached early in the pandemic. So it was already improving at the time the Biden-Harris administration took office. And that 6.4% level was the highest since the Great Recession. So in the last 20 years, not going back decades further. Anderson?
All right.
Boy,
that's something else.
Says it all there.
My MAGA friend in Milwaukee sent me a picture of a guy, a black guy, carrying a goose through the street.
A goose?
And I just thought, well,
What does that mean,
yes,
John?
exactly. Where was that picture taken? What context is there? Do you care? He doesn't really care. He just repeats these things and he sends them out. That's about it. It's incredibly sad. Do we have just 1 minute? Okay. Yeah. Well, we can't get to Midas Touch. They had a little thing on this as well about eating pets. But it's an amazing thing to hear something like that in a presidential debate. I'm sorry, it just brings everybody down.
Crazy stuff. It is 7:28. Hey, Mike McCabe is in the house.
Yeah.
Waiting in the wings here. We're going to talk to him. We're going to continue the discussion about the internet and some regulation, as well as some other things. And we're coming right back with more of the John and Gordy Show on 92.7 WMDX Madison.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
John and Gordy in the morning.
As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by saliva. Remember, when seeking to moisten the parched membranes within those hard-to-reach oral cavities, more people use saliva than any other bodily fluid. It's wet, it's tasteless. You can use it to shine your shoes. It's saliva. Recommended by the American Mucus Association.
People have been using that for years.
I know. It's a good product.
WMDX 92.7, the John and Gordy Show. We've been covering the debate last night, and in the studio from Substack, we have Mike McCabe. And before we get to anything else,
I want to mention it's going to be a warm one today, 83 for a high, lots of sunshine, supposedly. So far, we've been seeing a lot of clouds and a couple of sprinkles. And right now it's still 65 degrees.
Last week we were talking about the internet, but before we get to the second part of that discussion, why don't we talk about the debate? Your impressions, Mike, and what you saw last night.
Yeah, what'd you think?
All I can say is...
Oh, hang on. There we go.
All I can say is that's the way to debate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even sure it was possible to debate Donald Trump effectively and actually win a debate against Donald Trump. It's
a fire hose of lies. It's tough to get through.
Yeah, when you're up against somebody who's not constrained by the truth at all, who tells a lie when called on it, just tells more lies.
Right.
Who is willing to throw low blows when called on it, goes even lower. There's no depth to which he will not sink. He'll go lower than anybody else. Given that condition, it was hard for me to imagine anybody doing better than just sort of coming out of it with their dignity intact and just sort of surviving.
Right.
But she took him apart.
Yeah.
She was masterful, and you know, Trump looked desperate at times. Just the way he looked was, he looked angry. He looked frustrated. He looked desperate. She baited him. He took the bait. She just took him apart, and I didn't think that was possible. And I'm somebody who's run for office, and I participated in more than 50
debates.
Candidate forums, and it's really hard when you don't know what questions are coming.
Right.
You're given 2 minutes to answer, sometimes as little as a minute to answer. You have to think on your feet. You have to come up with an answer on the fly. You have to sound coherent. You have to look like you're calm and collected. You have to sound
good presentation.
Exactly. And you're judged on all of that by people who've never been through the experience before. And it's a humbling experience. It's really hard to do. And she did it as well as you could possibly expect a candidate to do it.
Yeah, and I've seen a few of the Republicans talking about Trump's debate style, and they praised him up and down, said he is the best debater they have ever seen in this country, which is just jaw-dropping for me. Seriously? I don't think so.
Well, he is the most gifted gaslighter in American political history.
That's the headline.
Up
right
is
there.
up is down, right is left, wrong is right, dark is light. And what do you do with that when somebody? Well, and I guess what I come back to is you do what Kamala Harris did.
Yeah.
She showed how you can debate Donald Trump effectively.
Now, it was a little thing, but I thought it was really interesting. Right at the beginning, she came out and crossed over the stage and shook his hand.
Yep.
And I don't think he expected that. I don't know if they had that in the rules that they weren't going to do that.
And she actually extended her hand and said, Kamala Harris.
Yeah, she introduced herself.
She introduced herself.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, but in 2016, Hillary Clinton refused to do that.
Right.
And I every single move she made just seemed like it was a masterful move. And it put him off guard.
Right.
He was playing defense the whole night.
Yeah.
Couldn't ever get on offense, really. And that's the way you debate Donald Trump, I guess.
Well, the problem was I think it was intentional. They probably wanted him not to ever have eye contact with Kamala because he never looked at her, always looked straight ahead or down.
Which made him look horrible.
One of the commentators on MSNBC said, I don't think we've even seen the white of his eyes.
Right.
He was looking downward all the time. And like I said, his bottom lip was projected. He was just angry, pouting. He didn't like being there. Didn't want to be subject to all of those negative things that he heard about himself.
Yeah.
With an ego like that, malignant narcissist, you've got a real problem on your hands. All right. Do you have any other questions about that?
Ahead.
All right. Why don't we get into the second half of our talk about the unregulated internet, where, regulations should have been put in place. That was our previous discussion.
Yeah,
just like utilities.
Yeah, when electricity was invented, when the telephone was invented, when radio and television came to be, our society put up guardrails that made sure that those innovations weren't simply used by a few private companies for their own benefit, to profit.
Right.
But rather would benefit the whole of society. And that wasn't done with the internet. Those guardrails were never put up. Those assurances were never created. Mm-hmm. And to the extent that our society has tiptoed toward trying to deal with how the internet is working, it tends to be a reaction to the content that's on the internet, and people will say, well, they should take that down, or they should prevent that from being shared. And it's like they're trying to put Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk in a position of doing nothing all day, but looking at billions of social media posts and deciding which ones should be taken down and which ones should stay up. Or we should create some kind of government agency like the Ministry of Truth from a George Orwell novel to decide which is okay and which should be banned. Or the other response is that the focus is on how big these social media platforms are, these internet platforms are. And maybe we got to whittle them down to size. We got to break them up and use old antitrust laws to break them up. And there's been talk about breaking up Facebook or breaking up Google. And ultimately, that doesn't really get at the root of the problem either. And so the last piece I wrote on my Substack about this subject was really that why aren't we focusing on what these internet platforms actually do? They don't create content, they curate it.
Yeah.
They decide who sees what. And shouldn't we have a society, shouldn't we have a government that is on the side of making sure that internet users have some control over their internet experience?
Right.
So why shouldn't we, instead of focusing on the content itself, which is created by billions of users worldwide, or instead of fretting about the size of these operations, why not zero in on the algorithms that they use to determine who sees what? Those algorithms are designed simply to make them money, to keep people on their sites for as long as humanly possible so that they can continue to subject those users to advertising. We need algorithms that actually serve the public interest and that give users some control over their internet experience. So one of the things I suggested is, why shouldn't we have a conversation in this country about actually giving people a choice of algorithms, a menu of options? You decide what kind of internet experience you want. What we've got now are algorithms that say, if hate keeps people online longer than love, feed them hate. If lies keep them online, keep them stirred up more than truth, feed them lies. Because the goal is to keep people trapped on those sites, because that's how we make money. Those internet service providers should have some public interest obligations, as radio stations did, as television stations did.
Yeah.
That say you've got to do something that actually is in service of society and of democracy. Give people a choice. So I threw out an idea of using something called middleware, which is not a futuristic idea. It's actually something that exists now. And middleware is kind of a bridge between a computer's operating system and the various applications that run on that computer. And it can add function to those applications that goes beyond what the operating system of the computer would otherwise allow. Middleware could be designed to give people the ability to choose algorithms.
Right.
And there are actually tech savvy people at major universities and internet consortiums who are working on middleware that would do just that. We need our government on the side of giving people that kind of choice, that kind of ability to not be helpless anymore about the nature of their internet experience.
Well, there's, like minor options right now. You could get a VPN to try and block a lot of that information from being shared. Or you could think that you're getting some control by agreeing to not share your information with advertisers.
Right.
They oftentimes give you that option, which I don't believe is real. I just think it's something. But the fact that we've been talking about algorithms for many years now, for a decade at least, this is nothing new.
Right.
So like you say, we could actually break it down. We could have certain algorithms, choices, a menu of choices of algorithms that we can pick in order to keep our information private, or at least see what we want to see when we go on their platforms.
And the problem is that we don't even talk about algorithms when we talk about the internet.
Right.
We obsess over the content. Well, that's hate speech, or that's inappropriate content, or that's vile or disgusting, and that should be taken down. That doesn't belong out there. But we don't talk about what those platforms actually do, which is simply use algorithms to determine who gets to see what. And those algorithms are designed to make sure that if it's vile content that keeps people online, give them vile. You don't have to give them something uplifting or even truthful if that doesn't engage them as much as as raunchy stuff. And so we got to the discussion has to turn to the algorithms themselves, because that's what those internet platforms actually control.
Right.
And they shouldn't have sole control over that. The people should have some say.
We're talking with Mike McCabe. He's the blogger from Substack. So how do we how would you have a commission or something to talk about algorithms, or to force these companies to set these up so people have a choice? I mean, who's gonna decide, what's vile, what's hate speech, how these algorithms are developed?
A knowledgeable Congress?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
What we would really need, though, is a Congress that would simply do what past Congresses did with electricity or the telephone or radio or internet,
right,
or radio or television. What they did is they said, you have a legal obligation to serve the public interest. Your content has to cover certain subjects that are important to a functioning democracy. You have to have programming that actually is in service of democracy and in service of the public interest. That's never been done with the internet.
Right.
And that's what we need Congress to do, is to spell out explicit public interest obligations that those platforms have. That you don't get to operate on this public space, the internet, unless you meet these standards.
Full obligation.
And then let the tech experts design the algorithms that would actually meet those public interest standards.
Right.
And then let the people decide. Give users the ability to choose from those options. I want this algorithm that delivers this kind of content, or I want this kind of algorithm that gives me this kind of internet experience. And ultimately, the final decision would be made by the users themselves. But what Congress needs to do is set the standards. They don't need to go in and write algorithms.
Right.
They're not qualified.
They don't have any idea how to do that.
Exactly. They don't know what an algorithm even is. But these platforms do understand what algorithms do.
Get the professionals in there, write this stuff up, and present it to Congress so they can mull it over and decide for themselves what they want to include or what they don't want to include. And one of the most frightening things that I've seen so far, and there should be a law against it, if you own a platform, it should not be your sounding board. And we're seeing this with Elon Musk, and it is frightening to see what he's posting out there right now, just because he owns it. There should be a separation, a wall that we build legally to prevent people from doing that.
Amen.
All right. It is 7:49. We're going to continue here with Mike McCabe on the John and Gordy Show for this Wednesday morning right here on WMDX Madison.
WMDX 92.7, the John and Gordy Family Show.
10 minutes before the top of the hour, this portion of the John and Gordy Show is sponsored by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted, locally made mattress. You can find them on Madison's east side or west side, or just go online, verlo.com.
In your Substack column, in the second part of talking about the internet, you posted a quote from Thomas Jefferson, which I just found absolutely fascinating. The light bulb went off above my head. It's just
Really?
like, oh man, this is it. This is the whole idea, the whole concept.
Wait a minute, Thomas Jefferson had something to say about the
Something to
internet?
say. Well, listen to this.
Come on.
He said, I am not an advocate for frequent changes in laws and constitutions, but laws and institutions must go hand in hand with the progress of the human mind. As that becomes more developed, more enlightened, as new discoveries are made, new truths discovered, and manners and opinions change, with the change of circumstances, institutions must advance also. And I'm seeing there's a complete contradiction with the current Supreme Court. They are going back in time. I came across this article the other day, and it just freaked me out. It was gun control, but the Supreme Court, or the courts basically, have said that it's okay to carry a gun into hospitals. And the reason for it is there is no previous laws in history banning guns in hospitals. So again, this is a new standard that the Supreme Court has put in place, that they have to go into the past to see if there is a history of these rules and regulations. If there isn't, then you can't have a new rule.
Yeah.
And we're going back into the past when they didn't know about any of this stuff. We're going back into the past where they made a ton of mistakes. They had bad policies. And if there's a bad policy out there and we can use it as an excuse to have a bad policy today, then we could use it.
Yeah.
It's just one of the most amazing things. And this comment from Jefferson should be paramount on their minds.
Yeah.
That we move along.
And Thomas Jefferson knew nothing of the internet.
Yeah.
He knew nothing of radio or television.
Exactly.
None of those things had happened yet. But what he did say was, when those kinds of innovations occur down the road,
Change.
whatever they may be, whenever change happens, our society needs to adapt to that.
Yeah.
And our laws and
Exactly.
even our Constitution need to adapt to
And
that.
they're doing just the opposite.
Exactly.
And they're going back into the past.
Yep.
And if it wasn't there when we made all the mistakes and we didn't know about these things, well, that's it. We can't do it today either.
Yep.
It's a strange situation.
And we want to dip into the past right now, right?
Yeah,
A little bit.
Now, this is my image. This is what I
Okay.
still think Congress has a mindset on when it comes to the internet. Again, this is
Senator Ted Stevens. In 2006, he said this.
Okay.
But they want to deliver vast amounts of information over the internet. And again, the internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes. And if you don't understand, those tubes can be filled, and if they're filled, when you put your message in, it gets in line. It's going to be delayed by anyone that puts into that tube enormous amounts of material.
It's a tube.
I think he's talking about net neutrality here, and he has no idea what he's talking about.
Well, yeah, they don't know anything about the internet, and that's why they never decided to try and regulate it in any way, shape, or form. Europe has done that.
But past Congresses didn't understand how radio actually works.
Yeah, or television
How
either.
how signals go over an electromagnetic spectrum, and they didn't understand that. But they did create laws requiring radio broadcasters to act in the public interest. They didn't understand how television actually works. How the meat and potatoes of creating something in a studio and then making it appear on somebody's screen in their living room. They didn't understand the science of that, but it didn't stop them from creating public interest standards for the use of television. I don't expect members of Congress to understand the intricacies, the inner workings of the internet, but they do need to protect the public and make sure the public has some control, is not utterly helpless in terms of how the internet experience affects their lives.
Right. And if they knew a little bit more, I think they could actually come up with something and maybe broach this subject and do what Europe and other countries have been doing in order to regulate the internet, or what's on the internet, or at least software or operating systems. All of that have to be in some way, shape, or form controlled, regulated just a little bit.
If Congress could simply say, algorithms have to be designed so that they give people the internet experience they want, and they serve the public interest, and they spell out those public interest standards, that would be a huge advance.
Yeah.
It would say you can't simply have these algorithms that feed people garbage because garbage keeps them online and helps you to make a profit.
I want to get to another thing, and this gets back to the debate on tariffs. We know that Trump doesn't know anything about tariffs or how they work. And it's just it makes you want to pull your hair out of your head, because everybody knows how it works except for him. He does not get it. Can we play Cut 66 real quick? At least part of Cut 66. All right, let's play this. Okay.
One other point, if you'd indulge me, on this tariff back and forth, which is we keep talking about the middle class and how the middle class in America is going to be taxed. They're going to be taxed actually in a different way as well, which is to say, I actually got an email from a farmer who was describing to me actually how hard it was during the Trump administration when it comes to some kinds of farming agricultural exports. So one of the things that people don't appreciate is the second you get into a tariff war, it's not just that the cost of goods become more expensive and reinflate all of the things we've been praying could come down in price. It's that folks who, in the United States, middle-class farmers and other workers who export goods to other countries, you don't think that those other countries are going to say, well, actually, now that's going to cost you more on the other end. Yep. So it's a double whammy. And it's something that I think is just grossly misappreciated and grossly misconstrued and grossly misdescribed by so many who have been supporting former President Trump on this particular point.
And a lot of people don't remember that when these tariffs went into place, which we kept in place, some of them, that the farmers had to be reimbursed with taxpayer money, because they were losing money hand over fist. A lot of them were going out of business, small farmers especially, not the corporate farms. But that's what happened, and he's asking to do that all over again, right?
Yeah, I grew up on a dairy farm. I come from a farming family, and farmers hate tariffs.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
That's it.
They know what happens when we get into tariff wars, and it makes it impossible to sell products overseas.
Mike McCabe, thanks for being with us again every Wednesday.
Yep.
It's Mike McCabe from Substack.
And tomorrow we'll welcome Nick Ramos from the Wisconsin Democracy Campaign into our studios. That's going to do it for the John and Gordy Show for today. We hope you have a great day. Stephanie Miller's show is coming up next right here on 92.7 WMDX.
John and Gordy Show.